know that you're a man of faith.
Yeah,
you go to
that's
church,
correct.
and it's something that you place, a lot of importance in. Has faith played a role in you running your business and being the person that you've become?
Oh, absolutely, because what I didn't realise, that right through the whole Bible, it has all these lessons about leadership, momentum, business, dealing with negative people, delegation. It goes on and on. And where I first came to the realisation, I got hold of this book by John Maxwell, who's a well-known international speaker and motivator and leader, and it's called the Maxwell Leadership Bible. And I just couldn't believe from beginning to end the amount of material that was encouraging, inspiring, that just changed my thinking. And that's why that was a great inspiration.
Right. It's amazing how much correlation there is between the Bible or faith and life in itself. There are life principles in your faith which you can replicate in your business life, isn't it?
Well, in the end, the way we were taught through the early years of attending church, that everyone was down on you. You can't do this and can't do that.
That's right.
But when you actually start to read it in context, it inspires. It actually, God wants everyone to grow, wants everyone to succeed, conquer, build.
To be happy, to be
and to be healthy, and it's all about giving a good life, not a negative life. And some of the things that it encourages you not to do is only because they don't build relationships, they don't build businesses, and they don't let you grow. It actually pulls you back.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, well, is there a memorable moment in your life where you've experienced inspiration, where you've experienced an aha moment, where you just go, you know what, this is it. Perhaps enough is enough, or this is it. This is my journey in life.
Yeah.
This is the road that I'm going to take, the road less traveled, perhaps.
Yeah. Well, there's probably two.
Okay.
And I've got to be honest, there's a lot. But let me tell you two, because it did have a significant difference. One was when I was in year 8 in high school.
Oh, wow, that long ago.
Yeah, and it was a long time ago. Yeah, I won't even go over the story because I will date myself. But one of the things in those days, there wasn't as much media as there was today. Yep. And the fear just went through the students, and they used to play on it, and then parents talked about it, and teachers, what they called the red peril, which was the communist.
Right.
And they tell you that you're going to wake up one day and there'll be a communist under the bed with a machine gun. Now, I'm fairly naive in that year at school. They may not be today, but I was then. Right. And I was getting petrified. And then one day I was just sort of spending a quiet moment, with God, with the Bible. And I sensed he said, do you realise it's not over till I say it's over? This world isn't going to end till I say it's going to end. Right. And I don't know what anyone thinks, but that gave me a huge peace. And I thought that was just for them. But man, when I hit business... and other issues, we started Gloria Jean's Coffees, and within 6 months, I thought, well, that's it, it's all gone, we've lost everything.
That's right.
And it came back to me, it's not over till I say it's over. Absolutely. And my wife reminded me, of that, and that encouraged me. And then in 2002, we had a fire that burned everything to the ground. Right. 92 stores opened. Yep. I didn't know what we were going to do, but I knew it wasn't over. And we rebuilt the business. Wow. Only because you don't realise that inspiration, the difference it makes. Then in my mid-30s, while I was still struggling about what we're here for, and, in the way everyone was talking is, when you hit 50, man, it's all over. Right. Well, I've long passed that, and I realise it's not over. But then I was just sort of again sitting down, reading the Bible, and I sensed God said to me, do you realise your Bible's too small? I said, what do you mean? And we have these conversations occasionally. Right. What do you mean? He said, well, you keep mentally crossing out chapters and books because people tell you they're no longer relevant today. And I thought, you're right. Well, of course he's right. Yeah. And that day, the whole Bible opened up to me of the leadership momentum, that he wanted us to succeed and grow and prosper in every aspect of life. Not just in one area, but every aspect of life.
Absolutely.
And that changed my whole vision for business, my relationships. And I started to try and sow positive things into me to counter all the negative stuff that goes on. Yeah, absolutely. And I found that I can encourage people and build people up. And then when I get down, I've got those things to remind me, to keep me back.
It's interesting that two significant moments, two significant inspirational moments in your life has been a lot to do with your faith. Yeah. And the Bible has played a big role in that. That is great. Because I think a lot of businesses today, and also young people, they don't see faith as an element that's important in their life, or they don't put it as something that's important. So that's a bit of a shame, but I think it's important to bring faith in.
Yeah. Well, I've worked, and I know very well a lot of are people who are regarded as very successful because in life they've gone to the top.
Yeah.
And one just told me recently that he got to the top of the ladder and he realised he had the ladder against the wrong thing. I laughed because he built all this time, went through all the trouble, and he finally realised he got to the top, he destroyed his relationships and everything, and then he realised that's not what he wanted to do. And I see these people and they actually get to the stage where they have everything, and they then actually destroy their lives, not deliberately, because there's nothing else. So I see that
faith is a foundation.
Yeah, you know, there's a mix of life, and you know, Ray Kroc, who founded McDonald's, and he said in his book Golden Arches, you know, I believe in. By the way, he was 55, so that gives a lot of people hope.
It's never too late.
That's never too late. That's right. And he said in his book, I believe in God, the family, and McDonald's.
Oh God!
But at work, the order is reversed.
Really?
And I actually have a problem with that because, well, two problems. One is he's saying that at work he's one person, but at home he's a different person.
Yeah, of course.
So what happens is he turns up at work today, no one knows who turned up.
Right.
Because they don't know which mood he's in.
That's
and the same at home. And the second problem I have, I've learned that, and I was taught this, well, God's first, family second, business third. Actually, I'm becoming convinced that's not correct. I actually think it's all equal because he wants to be part of everything.
Wow.
And when you create a priority, you create conflict. And that's why people have, faith or...
comes second.
You know, well, faith and business don't mix, and family and business don't mix.
Right.
But if your business is going bad, it affects your family, and if your family's going bad, it affects your business. So you've got to learn to bring the whole lot on the journey. And I'm not saying that's easy.
Yeah.
It's working at it, and you get off kilter at times because work gets pressure, and you've got to work out where you are.
Yeah,
but it's having that checkpoint that you can come back to.
Absolutely. Peter, you're a busy man. What are you doing at the moment? I know you've been involved in Gloria Jeans for a while, and now you're on the board of directors, and you're involved in quite a number of speaking engagements at the moment. So what do you actually do at the moment?
Look, it was about 3 years ago, I said to my partner in Gloria Jeans, look, I'd worked in advertising for 30 odd years, and we started Gloria Jeans, and it's very big now. It hasn't been without its issues, and you know, we borrowed money for the business at times it's needed, so we've got all our money tied up in there, so we pay interest to the bank for that. You know, that life's normal.
Sure.
But I said to him, I sense that my time in life, the opportunity to be able to speak out in the business world particularly, and where appropriate, schools are inviting me to speak to students about business, you know, the lessons, practical lessons. And surprisingly, you see, I've never went to uni, I get universities ask me to come and speak, you know, to them.
Wow.
And I was just humbled by all that and thought, well, I didn't think so, but people seem to think that you've got something to share. And then I realised I've been working 45 years. Man, I've learned a lot and made a lot of mistakes. And if I can help people maybe not make some of those, that will save them money and hassle.
Because there is a difference between what you learn theoretically and what's actually real and practical outside in the real world, isn't it?
Well, yes, because I realised that even in marketing, you can do the degrees and they're all important, but if you put a product on the shelf in the supermarket, the customer hasn't read the textbook.
That's right.
And they'll go, that's either too expensive, can't read the packaging.
Right.
They compare it, and I remember one client had done everything by the textbook with a shampoo, and we'd launched a new one, and we discovered there wasn't much difference between it and others, and there were 32 shampoos on the shelf, and when it looked good by itself, when you put it on the shelf and look at it, you know, you go, how does that stand out? And, you know, so as when you get the theory, you've got to start applying it. Theory is useless unless you apply it.
Now, you're also an author, and I've recently read your book, Win in Business, and the 20 Keys to Catapult You Towards Your Vision. I feel it's more than just a business book. I feel it's a book of life. It's, you know, you could apply a lot of the lessons to life as well. So, you know, that's something that you're doing. I'm quite inspired by that.
Well, what happened was, someone said, oh, you've written a book, you're an author. I thought, oh, am I? Because I don't think it that way. When I started speaking, people said, oh, I really like the practical stuff you talk about. Have you got notes? I said, well, no, because I change for every group I speak to, because the stories of what I've been through and points are different. But my wife said, well, maybe we need to put out a book. So I typed the notes up, and it was a page and a half. And I thought, I don't think the book going to go. I don't think anyone would be interested.
Page and a half, maybe an ebook.
So, but I had a lot, you know, or a free download.
That's right.
And you know, so I started started on it, and I had a lot of stuff I'd collected over the years, and I started to put it together. And I thought, well, all I'm going to do is share the things that have challenged me or that I've learned. Like there's a book chapter on being negative, how to overcome that.
Sure.
It's easy to get negative in business and life when people do things, and people stop, but they need to get over it and move on. Absolutely. To, how do you build a business? Do you need a plan? Why do you need that? And relationships, how they affect. So it is a book of life, and a lot of people are getting a lot out of it because of that, because of the stories.
Right, yep.
And there's a lot of them.
Love your stories, Peter.
Yeah, and